discussion with most of the business school, and as my friends will tell you, probably the most important part of the business school, because it's not the accounting part, which is a great program, but we want to talk to you about business. And what I'd like to do is have my friends introduce themselves, and I'll kind of manage that process as we go through, and do it by discipline. But before I kick off with the disciplines, our freshman advisor, Jane Hessian, maybe you could, a quick introduction.
Of course. Good afternoon, everyone. It's 4:19 here in Spokane. Beautiful, beautiful late spring day. And if you haven't encountered spring or summer in the Pacific Northwest, I have on good authority that Spokane has the second best summer in the whole United States. I think the best summer is somewhere in Hawaii. We're number 2, and I like to hang on to that particular note of distinction. So I am the academic advisor for all students who come into Gonzaga brand new as freshmen or transfer students. I work individually with each one of my advisees, each one of my students. I sit down, so far this has been a face-to-face sit down in my office, talk about you, talk about what you want to do long-term for your whole life, what your short-term interests are, what you like to study, what brought you to Gonzaga, all the things that will help me help you be as successful a Gonzaga student as you can possibly be. I love working with students one-on-one. It's kind of a dream job for me. My graduate work is in counseling and higher education, and I wanted to work with college students, and that's exactly where I get to spend my day-to-days, Monday through Friday. A little bit on the weekends now that we're in our admission season. If you have questions about anything relative to academics or what college life is all about, I'm the person you get to go to. That's where my area of expertise is. I'm looking forward to getting to know each and every single one of you. So welcome to Gonzaga.
Thank you, Jane. And again, just reinforcing what she said, she will become maybe your best resource your freshman year at Gonzaga. She has a world of experience. There probably isn't a question or a situation you could present to her that she hasn't handled with excellence and grace in the past. So make sure that when you get to Gonzaga, or even before, questions, concerns, even before your initial meeting with her, that you reach out to Jane and establish that connection. The next person I'd like to introduce before we get to the disciplines, because I know some of you will have questions about his program, that would be Dan Stewart. Dan is a professor of management, as well as the director of our Hogan Entrepreneurial Leadership Program. So Dan?
Yeah, welcome everybody, and thanks for having me. Our program is a 3-year minor, so it doesn't replace any of the programs in the business school. Our students generally are maybe a third to 40% are business majors. So if you decide to study business, you can still do the Hogan program, but most of our students are coming from engineering and sciences, or we try to have a pretty good cross section of what the student body looks like in any given year. We're a hands-on program. We mean to be a complement to whatever you study. So our intent is to not have you study entrepreneurship and necessarily go out directly into a startup, but understand leadership and innovation and working in teams, so that when you do graduate, no matter what you study, you're going to be a better leader, and you're going to be a more entrepreneurial leader, and you're going to be a more innovative leader. So really what we study is leadership, innovation, and entrepreneurship all bundled together in a 3-year window. The important thing to know is, if you want to join the program, you have to apply your freshman year. So you have to know very early going in. And it's, am I allowed to just, oh, somebody disabled the screen sharing. Well, we've got a website. It's gonzaga.edu/Hogan. Go out and check us out. There's an online application there. If you end up here in the fall, you have a very short window to get that application in. We'll go around and we're gonna meet with all the freshmen when you get here and remind you and be available for questions. I'm available anytime if you would like to do a video conference where we can just talk to you about any questions you have to ask about it. Just email me and we'll set up a Zoom and we'll just do some one-on-one. Happy to answer questions. I'll be available all summer. So thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Dan. So let's see if I can keep track of things in my own head here. Why don't we turn to any economics faculty that are on this call?
I think I am the only one. My name is Ryan Herzog. I am an economics faculty member. I'm at my 11th, 12th year at Gonzaga. You will get to take us. Some of you will take econ your freshman year, spring of your freshman year, but for sure by your sophomore year, you will take econ at 201, 202. And as people pointed out, my hair is definitely getting very shaggy here.
Thank you, Ryan. How about finance? You're muted, Danielle.
So Aaron is not the only one, huh? Okay, so I'm from finance. My name is Daniel Xu. I have been teaching at Gonzaga for 15 years. Normally, I would teach investment during the fall and the spring, and sometimes in the summer, I teach also on top of investment, also teach principles of finance and international finance class. Together with Dr. Tim Olson, who you will meet in a few seconds, we offer study abroad program in China in the last few years. And in the future, we will expand China to some other Asian countries. Okay. So that's about me. So Ken, do you want me to start talking about finance program?
We'll come back to that part.
We'll come back, right? Okay. So I'm excited to meet all of you and look forward to talking to you about our finance program. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Danielle.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to, I see a couple of management folks in the room, Dr. Stevenson, and I'll even lump Dr. Stevens into that. So introductions, you two.
Brian Stevenson. I teach business ethics, School of Business. I just finished my 28th year here, so been around a while. I teach business ethics at the undergraduate and the graduate level. I also have the great honor of teaching the ethics capstone course in the Hogan program, ethics and moral leadership, every spring. I really enjoy teaching business ethics at Jesuit University. Once at a public talk, I claimed that if business was to be taught anywhere in higher ed, it should be taught at a Jesuit University, because the overall education our students receive here, including the university core that Dean Anderson mentioned earlier, provides a context for making sense of your study of business and the purpose behind doing so.
Hi, I'm Chris Stevens. I'm in charge of Fighter Command based on this headset. But I actually teach entrepreneurship and strategy and occasionally teach some other stuff, business ethics occasionally, some marketing related courses. So I've been at Gonzaga about 14 years now. And, I'd echo what my colleagues say. We do this, we do these webinars, we do these meetings because we're really passionate about connecting with students and telling them why we chose to be here. Every one of these faculty that I work with is an amazing teacher, gets to know their students, really wants to know your story and wants to understand how we can make your career outcomes part of our process. So I'm excited to get to know you and talk about what we can talk about.
Thank you, Chris. Let's go to Management Information Systems, Tatao.
Tatao Zhuang here. I'm a professor of the information systems, and I've been with Gonzaga 19 years, going to 20 years. Pretty soon I think I'm going to lose the track of counting, so. I used to teach intro to information system and web application. And in the past few years, I developed a interest in data science and machine learning technologies. So right now I'm teaching business intelligence, data analytics for business, and also at the graduate course, I'm teaching information system theories and practice. I look forward to seeing you on campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Tatao. Tim?
Hey, Tim Olson here, professor of MIS. Again, as Tatao was saying, MIS is Management Information Systems. And we have all the fun in the business. We get the business needs. So I want to help you learn about it if you in the MIS classes you take.
Thank you, Tim. John?
Hello, my name is John Correa. I've been at Gonzaga in a faculty position for a whole full year. So it's been a fun year joining the team, but you know, as both Tatao and Tim mentioned, you know, we are kind of that bridge between business and kind of your computer science. So we do get to kind of dive into the fundamentals of technology and how that's used in business, but also pair in a lot of ethics into our intro to business information systems courses as well. As we know, technologies all around us infuse into society, individuals, and corporations, and we kind of like to play in all those areas. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to any of us, and thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, John. Let's go to marketing. Vivek?
Hi, I'm Vivek Patil. I'm a professor of marketing. I have been at Gonzaga for 15 years now. I have taught the principles of marketing class that you would typically take during your junior year. And I also teach marketing research, data visualization, and at times business analytics class. I also teach a class in a doctoral program at Creighton, for which faculty are pulled from different universities. And so it's been enjoyable. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you when you're on campus.
Thank you, Vivek.
Yeah.
Let's turn to operations and supply chain. Ashish? Can't hear you.
Good now?
Good now.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is safe and well. I am Ashish. I am in the operations management concentration. I'm one of the 3 faculty, and I've been at Gonzaga for 14 years, and I teach operations management at the undergraduate level, the foundation operations management that all business students take, typically in their junior year, along with lean systems, and I also teach supply chain management. I look forward to seeing you on campus, hopefully in fall. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And then let's close with, hopefully I'm not missing anyone. Let's close with a man who was a discipline unto himself in business law, Don Hackney. You're muted.
Unmute. There we go. My name's Don Hackney. Unlike the rest of these fine colleagues, I have a law degree, a juris doctorate. I have a long, rich history with Gonzaga. I went here as an undergraduate and used to sit in the bleachers and watch Ken Anderson play basketball for the Zags back in the day. So I have long, long, deep ties to the school. My degree is in economics. The econ faculty has difficulty believing that. But I have a master's in business and a law degree. For years, I practiced law, 37 years, and taught adjunct. So I've been around Gonzaga for a long time. Excuse me. I teach the business law course, which is one of 2 courses in the business core. So everyone pretty much has me. I think I'm sort of the a rite of passage in that you will see my mug sophomore year taking a 3-year or a 3-hour course, business law. Business law is a survey course, kind of lets you know what the playing field looks like from a legal perspective in business. I also, as Dr. Anderson mentioned, I have a separate concentration that I advise called Law and Public Policy. And it's unusual. Gonzaga is the only West Coast Conference school that has a Law and Public Policy concentration. We developed it a few years ago. And Ken, I suppose this is something we can talk about a little bit later in the proceedings.
That'd be great.
So that's me. Go Zags.
Thank you, Don. And I see that we were just joined by Professor Bull Shaffer. Becky is an outstanding professor, particularly in the area of HR. How about a quick introduction, Becky?
Hello, it's great to see your names. I'm Dr. Bull Shaffer. I was sorry for being a little late. One of my awesome opportunities with being a faculty here is to be able to serve on Board of Trustees for community organizations, serving on that particular committee right now. And so we're talking about how to take care of employees so that way they can take care of their clients. I've been at Gonzaga since 2010. I'm from Northern Illinois, and it's been an awesome move. I love my colleagues. I love the Gonzaga students, and I was really just attracted to coming here because of the mission of the school, and not just the university, but the School of Business itself. The way that I approach teaching about business is that most of my focus is on employees as a stakeholder, but really to have a sustainable business, we have to make decisions that keep in mind how we care for our community, our employees, our clients, our customers, our future. And so I really get the sense that all of us working together have that shared mission in mind. So what else did you want me to say, Ken?
I think that's a great introduction for now, and you'll probably get the opportunity to answer some questions here in a couple minutes.
Great.
Thank you. So with that, Aaron, questions from the attendees for us? Hello, Aaron.
At this time, no. But everyone who's attending, feel free to throw questions into the chat and I will feed those out to the professors. Ken, I think you froze. Are you, okay. I have a question. How many students are in the School of Business Administration?
At any given time, at the undergraduate level, when you talk about majors and minors and concentrations and all of that, we have roughly 1,400 or so undergraduate students and another couple hundred graduate students in the business school. Typically, we get anywhere between 22 and 24% of an incoming freshman class. And so, yeah, about 1,400 overall at the undergraduate level, another couple hundred at the graduate level.
Fabulous. There's questions popping into the chat now. The next one is, what business related clubs are on campus? And I would even extend that out to like any extracurricular activity around business.
Okay. Who wants to take a club question? Becky, go for it.
Well, the best club. We got, what's that? So I'm the faculty advisor for Society for Human Resource Management. So obviously that's a business club where we regularly network with professionals in HR here in the community. And then we may go to conferences or competitions related to these areas, but you don't have to be an HR concentration to join. It really just helps people with their resume as far as networking with different people and learning different skill sets. So our membership is pretty diverse. And even our president is for next year is a psychology major and is just really interested in HR. But I know Don Hackney, Dr. Hackney, he is a faculty advisor for AK Psi, right?
Yes, yes, I am. And there's DECA, and there's a bunch of accounting clubs that I can't enumerate, but one of the accounting faculty could, if they were here.
And the
if they
Bulldog
were here.
Club, Dr. Zhu is, who's raising her hand.
Yeah, so I have two clubs in my mind. I don't want to compete with Becky for the best, but I may have the exciting ones, right? Yes, we used to have a Bulldog Investment Club. Now we rename it to Gonzaga Investment Club. Yes, so and the good news about this club is starting from this year, we're going to manage part of the endowment funds, the real money for the university. So if you want to be part of it, make sure you either reach out to me or reach out to Dr. Marshak. He is the faculty advisor for the club. Okay, keep eye on that one. And also, I'm the faculty advisor for DECA Club. And this year, we had 9 outstanding students competed in Bellingham for the regional business case competition. And we won, every single student won an award in one of these terms, categories. We were going to Atlanta, but due to COVID, we couldn't travel together. But next year, we're going to make it. Okay, I'm done here.
Thank you, Danielle.
I'll throw in a pitch for the Women's Club Lacrosse. I'm the advisor for Women's Club Lacrosse, and there are lots of students who've never played lacrosse come to Gonzaga and get to on a club team and travel. So there's another one.
Jane, I learned something new about you every day.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of business club opportunities. Many of them stress engagement, as Becky talked about, hands-on experience like Danielle talked about. So you'll be able to find your way, and you don't have to wait until a certain time to join most of those clubs. You can be in there from your first semester on campus. What do you got, Erin?
All right, and there are quite a few, and just so everyone knows, I'm just going to take them in order that they were received.
Cool.
So we will get to your question. Next one is, if I study business as a minor, how many business classes should I expect to take each year over the 3-year period?
Got that, Jane?
Yeah.
Okay.
The business minor is a total of 8 courses. You will not start it till your sophomore year. There's a variety of ways to pursue or proceed through from sophomore to junior to senior. You'll probably take a couple of classes your sophomore year, maybe 3 in total in that timeline, and then 1 course subsequent semesters, from junior, fall, spring, senior, fall, spring. It's a very manageable academic undertaking for students who are not business majors themselves, but want to have that versatility and understanding of the business environment. So we completely support it for the students who are in some other field, engineering, and courses or endeavors in the College of Arts and Sciences. I even have some nursing students who do the business minor. It's very manageable.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
Here's
one for MIS. How would one define management of information systems?
I can take that.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Tatal.
Well, here's my view. Simply say, I would consider management information system is use information technology to help business run better, to help decision makers, to make better decisions, to help, organizations to create competitive advantage. Or I can borrow, what John just mentioned in a few minutes ago. Information system, or MIS, is more like a bridge between technology and the business side. So in technology side, you are going to learn solutions. And by understanding the business side, you are going to be able to define the problems. And what we are doing is try to apply what we learn in information technology to come up with solutions, to help a business to solve their problem. Maybe Tim, you can help. Yeah, you can jump in, or you can, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. I typed one answer in the chat, but basically businesses use technology in different ways. The technology is obviously very important today. So we prepare students to understand how to apply knowledge of technology and systems to fulfill business needs. That's my definition.
Thank you.
Here's the next one. I want to major in graphic design. What classes would I need to take to accomplish that? Which is not a major, but is there a way for a student to combine maybe business and art?
Go ahead, Jane.
Graphic design actually is a course that belongs within the marketing curriculum. Students who are creative seem to be drawn to that particular course. And yes, you're right, we do not have a major or a concentration in graphic design, but we enable students who are in marketing, certainly, to choose that course as one of their marketing electives. It could certainly also be taken by students out of other concentrations as what you'll learn about a broadening course, something that expands your horizons from your primary concentration to some other academic discipline. There are also design type classes that the art department offers. So you can supplement the graphic design that we have in marketing with other kinds of design work that the art department will provide.
Thank you. Next question, can one double major in accounting and business administration?
Yes, they can, but they're looking at going, what, Jane, close to a little bit over 150 credit hours probably?
Well, if you're doing a double major, the accounting and the business administration major, you'll actually be able to get that done within the 128 because of how you can position those courses from your second major in place of what otherwise would be elective credits.
Okay.
So it does fit without it being an additional burden that requires extra time or say summer school or excessive credit loads in a given semester. It really does, it is something that is quite manageable. If you're going to do the whole CPA thing, that's another question, but within the realms of a 4-year degree program, it works.
Now remember that if you are interested in accounting and thinking about the CPA license, to earn that license, you not only have to pass the exams, but you also have to have 150 credit hours of college work. So it helps get you towards that number.
Okay. Is it possible to change from a single major to a double major minor if you already have filled out the academic survey? I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
Do you want to expand on that, Jane, at all, or Ken?
So I'm assuming this to mean, or to reference the questionnaire that students get as they're just getting started and we use that information in putting their class schedule together.
Yes.
We are, if not flexible, I don't know how we can define ourselves as we try to accommodate a student's academic interests, directions, and so forth. Yes, certainly, if you change your mind, between the time that you fill out a survey and the time you get to campus in the fall, there's all kinds of ways that we can work things around. You're not obligated, in other words, stuck with what your first set of answers might be.
Right. And again, there's a situation where the fact that most freshmen only take one business course is to your advantage if you say you put psychology on that original form and now you're thinking about coming to the business school. So it shouldn't be a problem at all.
Not a problem.
Okay, let's see. I lost my place in the chat because I answered something. Here we go. Do you have to have taken programming classes in high school to be successful in the MIS program?
I can answer that one. I teach the first course in our discipline, and it teaches students how to develop fundamental programming skills within Python. And a lot of our students who take that course have no programming experience before entering it. We actually have a wide spectrum of students in that course, and it's kind of geared to your own skill set. So projects are based on kind of your skill level and your interests. So it's kind of, it provides a good opportunity to get a broad understanding of the fundamentals, you know, going into the programming, or you know, even data science is another question that came up as well in the chat box, and I can kind of answer that while I'm discussing that here. The Python course lays the foundation for you to understand the programming skills needed for some data science, and we also offer a couple courses that have machine learning, which is a concept within data science, whether that be through Tatau's course, or Vivek, I believe, has a course as well. So, you know, within the business school, we're starting to induce a little bit more of those type of courses in our curriculum. And we also have students in that intro to programming class who are computer science majors or even computer science minors. So there's a lot of flexibility in the way that we teach our courses, concentrating on the fundamentals that can then be applied to your interest and skill level.
Fantastic, thank you. As a business major, would you recommend Hogan or CLP as a minor? I think people in this school are going to say Hogan, because Hogan is.
Well, obviously Hogan. there are differences. They're both going to be strong programs. I recommend both programs. The nuanced differences in the programs is this: CLP is more of a generic leadership program, and there's it's more of a humanities type of education, whereas the Hogan program is much more applied. Several of our courses have applied business and entrepreneurship, so you are going to get a little bit more of the, well, I'm going to say you're going to get a lot more of applied business and entrepreneurship in the program. So it's a very nice complement to a business or an accounting major.
And the other important distinction is Hogan is competitive admission, and CLP really is not, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. That's why I've been encouraging people to start looking early, so you have a good feel for that's something that you want to do. We take 25 students per year. You start as a cohort, and you generally work your way through the program. You'll take your classes with that same cohort for your next 3 years in the program. So that's an excellent point, Ken. Thank you.
I believe CLP admits 40 students a year, so that's where the kind of extra space comes in, a little less competitive. Do you have on-campus career fairs where students can find internships? And if so, which companies come on campus on a regular basis?
Go ahead, Becky.
Our Center for Career and Professional Development, the CPD, they have done an excellent job bringing different types of employers to campus. In the fall semester, there are 3 or 4 career fairs that happen on campus. Some of them are for all majors, some are specific for accounting, some are focused more towards business, but honestly, I encourage all of my management students to go to all of them, because employers are looking for well-rounded students, and your major doesn't define the career you're going into, but instead that your skill set really does that. So there are at least 4 in the fall. In the spring, there is a huge career fair that's organized through Gonzaga, Eastern, Whitworth, and WSU. That happens at the convention center, and so we take buses. So I take my whole classes to the career fair. It's a 4-minute drive on the school bus, very fun. But just a huge wide variety of employers. Now, what I will say about career fairs is that these are going to be larger employers, and some of them are going to be national. Some are going to be local in Spokane, but they're recruiting large amounts of individuals. So your small type of firms that don't necessarily already have an internship program or don't have large turnover rates, we're not going to see them at the career fair because they just don't have that that type of incentive. But the Career Center does a really good job with our connections as far as posting other types of internships, and introducing individual local employers or employers from the west side of the state or even California to like come meet our students. And then a lot of alums will contact each of our faculty as well, and come speak in our class and try to recruit interns that way. So different ways to meet employers, but we're really active and we want to help you find your fit.
Yeah, thank you, Becky. One thing I would add to that, because she covered a number of ways that you can go about exploring internships, you can also come to us with your own idea. And, you know, maybe you have a connection back home, a relative or a friend or a previous employer, and you can bring that to us and we can find a way to make that work many times into an internship. So you can do the career fairs, go through career professional development's different digital platforms. Maybe you meet somebody through a networking event at the business school, or you can come to us with your own idea.
And Ken, I would like to also just quickly put in a little plug for the TREX that the Career and Professional Development Center does in the fall and spring semesters, taking students to other metropolitan areas where there is a large concentration of professional opportunity. A trek in the fall to New York City, treks in the spring to the Bay Area, the Puget Sound area, taking turns in the summer going to Denver or Los Angeles. So there are ways of looking at big employers that have national reputations like Google and Amazon on site. Nike's.
I was going to say that same thing, Jane, because I think those treks are a really important pre-interview phase as well, especially for larger employers. If you're really interested in a large employer who usually does very highly automated job placement process, getting into those treks, getting in touch with the people on the other side who are always alums. The treks are always connecting you with alumni sponsors at those individual organizations. Getting your name and your face in front of those people can get an awful lot of the process moving in advance and give you a real leg up.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, there have been some wonderful responses in the chat from all the different professors here, so thank you for that. I'm going to pick a couple that are kind of asking for some discussion. So one is, can you please discuss more the data science classes and any examples of how that class is applied in the real world?
Okay, maybe I can answer on this one. I just offer a new course, just like I mentioned, the course title is Data Analytics for Business. And a good example we can apply to real world is we all have online shopping experience. And before we go shopping, most likely we are going to take a look at customers' review about the store, about the product. So one application is we can run a sentiment analysis, try to see whether the customer's general response is positive or negative. That's one application. And then another application is, for example, when we are browsing the product on Amazon.com's website, when we are browsing a product A, most likely the website will tell you those people who are viewing a product A would also purchase a product B and C and D and so on. So which means that we have to draw the correlationship between product A and B and C and D, and then to decide which product to recommend to the customers. So these are two basic examples we can apply. Another example is we call it a clustering analysis. We can use it to segment the customers, or we can also use it to decide, the closing size. We have, most people, they all have different shapes, right? They have different dimensions. And we have to determine the size, to maximize the return, the biggest return, try to catch the biggest population. So these are few simply, examples we can apply data science or data analytics to.
If I may just chip in, just a concrete example here of I have taught a class on data visualization for a few years, and that introduces you to the use of R. Now, I've had students who have, because of the class, been employed at the Oakland A's, for example, for data visualization purposes, or the state of Washington for creating graphics for their own website. So there is a lot of practical application of what you will end up learning in these classes, irrespective of what class you take in this domain.
Thank you, Vivek.
Sure.
I think you just mentioned one of the dream jobs that we hear about a lot from prospective students. I want to work with the baseball team. Okay, here's another question. Can you talk more about the law and public administration study? Is it a major or a concentration?
This is Don Hackney. Law and public policy is a concentration. It's one of the smaller concentrations. Chris responded on the chat. It's usually people, I'd say about half the folks that you have it as a concentration are thinking in the back of their mind maybe about law school, so it's pretty good pre-law prep. And others are thinking about law-related type careers. It's an excellent second concentration because it only requires 12 hours. And the way, and Jane could go into this in more depth, but the way it works, oftentimes you can double count 3 hours out of that. So really what you're looking at is 9 hours, and some of those can be elective hours. So it is a full-fledged concentration. Your question says, is it a major or a concentration? What we have here is business administration majors with concentrations. So it's a full-fledged concentration, just like any of the others.
While you're on deck, can I ask you about pre-law? Would studying business with law and public policy be a good pre-law program for students? Or...
Well, I think it is, and I get in trouble with some of the folks over across the sidewalk, but there is no such thing as pre-law. You go to law school, one of the best students in my class was an engineer. So really what you need to do is learn how to think and write and develop some decent work habits. I think the largest major I saw looking it up statistically was 12 or 14%. So folks in law school come from a wide range of backgrounds. I think the biz law or the law and public policy is an excellent pre-law background because you have courses, and I always refer people to Dr. Bennett's law and antitrust course. You have some very rich, content-rich courses which help a person understand how the law works in the economy. And it really helps a person hit law school running, because that time period where you would ordinarily be confused and adrift, if you've had some law classes before you hit law school, it gives you a leg up on law. So I think it's an excellent, excellent pre-law prep. And law school, frankly, is a lot of times that's a decision people make, their junior year, perhaps. You don't think you want to do law, and then as you're in college for a few years saying, yeah, I think I'll be a lawyer. So it's one way to keep your options open.
Thank you so much. Jane, can you address whether or not transfer students have any issues graduating on time?
Well, that's a big question because there are so many different academic histories that students coming to Gonzaga as transfer students bring with them. We work with each transfer student individually, and we evaluate their academic background as best we can to apply previous coursework to the kinds of requirements that we have at Gonzaga. I do the intake with transfer students and work with them in their first year, and it is definitely my motivation to make sure that the student coming in as a transfer student gets their college coursework done as efficiently as possible. I'd like to say that it is not, transfer students should not expect to have to spend extra time at Gonzaga. There are, depending on how many credit hours you arrive with, there are some requirements that are waived. And so we do try to make it as reasonable as possible for students to complete their program in what one generally anticipates to be a 4-year time frame. So I can't promise that that's true always, but that is certainly the motivation that we have, both from the admissions perspective, as they evaluate incoming credit hours and coursework, and from my approach to the students in identifying everything that works as efficiently as and productively as possible in that student's academic background, and then getting them going right off the bat as they, first semester out of the starting blocks. We want this to be efficient, successful, and take no more time than is necessary.
Thank you. We are at time, and there are no new questions in the chat, but there have been so many answered within the chat that are just really wonderful, thorough answers. So if you want to copy and paste any, feel free to do that right now. Ken, I'll turn it over to you for any closing remarks.
I just want to take a moment and thank you again for being with us this afternoon. We know that it's a very, very busy time for each of you, as well as a very stressful time. And we know that how difficult the past couple of months have been for you, particularly as high school seniors, and so many things that you dreamed about and thought about did not work out the way that you thought that they would. But we hope that, with your moving on to college and hopefully moving on to Gonzaga, you'll create lots of great new memories. And we have a wonderful School of Business, mostly because we have wonderful people. And you saw some of that this afternoon with the folks who have given of their time to talk with you. So hopefully we can answer your questions, or we did answer your questions tonight. But again, we'll try to capture, I think Erin can capture the group chat and get that to us, and we can answer those questions that we didn't get to. And as I said earlier, if you just want to email me at anderson@gonzaga.edu with any question you have, I'll be happy to get it out to the right people, and they will get back to you with the answer that you need. So, but most of all, thank you for being with us. Good luck with your decision about college. Have a wonderful summer, and most of all, we hope that you and your loved ones are safe and healthy. Erin?
Thank you so much. I will keep the Zoom open in case you wanted to scroll through and get contact information. Professors are posting, feel free to contact them and posting their emails. But thank you so much for joining us, and go Zags. Thank you, professors, for spending time with us tonight too.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Look forward
Bye.
to seeing you soon.
Sayonara.
Did Erin leave?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I just saved the chat.
Oh, thank you.